Hello, Sai. This is your third video, and this is a mobility video. So we've done a post-commute rollout and kind of like a reset routine, and we've done a core routine, which has worked on, getting the core to tuck under, a lot of isometric stuff, so connecting the shoulders with the hips, just being aware of your body in space, so especially like being on a bike, how your body's lined up. Okay, so this mobility, one of the key things is having control through full range of motion. Sometimes you're going to be holding stuff, but when you get into the hold, I want you just to be aware of how it feels, that it's going through a range of motion that feels comfortable. You should not be feeling discomfort. So if you are, that's your cue to pull back. Another thing that is going to be a little bit of flexibility and strength. So it's kind of like a blend of the two. So with that said, I just want you to be aware that like you open up your hip flexor, but I want you to engage certain muscles to control that. And so it should feel really good. You don't need much. You're gonna need a mat to start with. You're gonna need a mat, I guess that's it. Mostly because when we're kneeling or you wanna make sure your knees are comfortable. Something I would recommend if you have something like a pole, whether it's a broomstick, this is a shower rod. I don't even know what this is. I think it's for painting. So this could be a helpful tool, and I'll use it a few times to kind of demonstrate it. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna start standing, and we're going to open up the front of the body. And what we're gonna do, sorry, I'm gonna explain a little bit more. We're gonna stand and do a few movements. Then I'm gonna kneel and do a few movements, and then we're gonna do seated stuff. A lot of it's going to be around this hip area and everything that connects from the top and then from the bottom. I want to try to address the knee thing, but I'm going to do it in an indirect way, so bear with me. So let's go ahead and just start with your feet apart, about hip distance apart, and then reach all the way up. Again, full range of motion as far as you can. Now, if this hurts your shoulder and you'd rather do a goal post, that's fine. From here, just like you worked on with the core, scoop your tailbone under. So remember how we used to pull your navel in towards the floor? You're doing that. So you're engaging your glutes and you're reaching up. Then grab your right wrist and reach over. Okay? So as you're going through, again, we're not dropping in, we're breathing in and then reaching over. Press into both feet evenly. Again, my feet are kind of like an athletic position where they're slightly bent, and you're lifting up out of your core and reaching over. So this is getting the lats and the QL and a little bit of that hip. All right, go ahead and come back to neutral. Reach the other wrist. And then with control, reaching over. Notice the weight in your feet. Okay, so I'm kind of shimmying back and forth. That's just kind of shifting my weight. Lift up out of your core. Good, reaching over. Taking your breaths. All right, so from here, I want you to separate your hands whichever way, either arms straight or elbows bent, and I want you to lift your chest up towards the ceiling. So bring your elbows back, watch the weight. If your hips start to drop back, I want you to scoop your tailbone and press your hips forward and lift up. So you're using the back of the body, just like you did with Superman, but now you're doing it standing. So just kind of checking out how that feels. You're actually using your arms to support yourself here. All right, and then we're gonna go into forward bend. From here, I want you to use your hands on your thighs, walk them down, and relax your neck. So just stop at your knees. Just see what's going on here. You should feel it in the back of the neck, upper back, lower back. The hamstrings should not be quite engaged here. If that feels okay, walk them down to your shins. Make sure your chin is towards your chest. You want the back of the neck to stay nice and long. And go down as far down as you want to. All right, from here, bend your knees a little bit, and I want you to roll up. So you're not gonna walk up with your hands. Your chin is down, draw your belly in, and curl yourself up one vertebrae at a time. All right, we're gonna do that again. If you don't have the pole or a stick, just do it again without it. I'm just gonna demonstrate with it. So you're reaching up Again, elbows can be bent. So, and you know, you could always, this is not what I was going to tell you, but you could always hold it like the distance of your mountain bike. Doesn't have to be that, it could be narrower, whatever feels comfortable for you. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move over to the side. So what's going to happen here is that I want you to punch up with your right hand and then punch with your left. So now it's going to be a lot more core. You'll notice the weight in your feet. You may shift a little bit over to the right, but try to keep them, for the most part, even. Lengthen. That's our, hi, that's our postman.
Hey, how's it going?
And then back. And then to the other side.
Oh, you guys are kind of busy. I do painting. Do you know if you guys would like to get a price
No,
on
thank you, I'm busy.
Okay, I do specialize in waterproofing the house.
This is awkward.
Okay, enjoy your day, man.
All right, back to center. All right, so from here, you're gonna bring your arms a little bit wider, and you're gonna reach your arms back behind your shoulders as much as you can. So if you're using the stick, you're gonna widen your arms a little bit. Bring your arms back, so you're gonna get a chest stretch, and then lift up. So it's exactly how you did in Superman. Your arms are back, you're engaging your glutes, lift up through your chest, and breathe. Okay, let's go ahead and roll forward. So drop your stick, just like you did before. Walk your hands, shake out your neck, walk it to your shins. Relax your head. And then when you're ready, you're gonna roll up. So we did that 2 times, and I do recommend doing it twice because things kind of open up as you go through it. So we're gonna use that same type of flow or mobility work onto our knees. So you're gonna come down to your knees, and let's go ahead and start with your right leg forward. Pole still next to you. Okay, so scoop the tailbone under and bend your front knee. So a lot of core work here, as far as you want to make sure that you're not just stretching the hip flexor, but this is the combination of core and flexibility. All right, so your right leg is forward, you're going to reach your left arm up and then reaching over to your side. So we did a side bend. Notice that both sides of your waist stay nice and long. And keep reaching. And now I'm going to add another element. Now we're getting more into the hips here. So we're going to use some of our core strength. I want you to bring your arms up to a T and rotate like propeller wings. So if your right knee is forward, your left arm's in front, reach your arms out and look to the side. So here's your obliques. We've been working on those in the core. And keep twisting through your waist. All right. Press into your feet, so here comes a little bit more strength with the mobility. Imagine your front heel and your back knee trying to connect. So you're kind of like pulling everything together. Lift up out of your tailbone. Awesome. Okay, let's do that to the other side, and I'm going to incorporate the pull on this one. So left leg forward, and we're gonna get the hip flexor in here. Scoop the tailbone, lift up. You can already start to engage the front heel with the back knee if you'd like to. All right, with the stick, this one's actually really cool. With the twist, you're gonna bring it behind your neck, arms in a T, and you're gonna rotate. And the reason why I think this stick is so awesome is you can't cheat. So in the other one, I would thought maybe my left leg, my left arm was back more, so I could rotate more. But in fact, I can't rotate too much, otherwise the stick leaves one of my shoulders. So you want to have the stick right against both shoulder blades, and then twist with your core. And then every time you breathe in, see if you can get a little taller. Breathe out and rotate. Keep engaging through your legs and your core. Your legs, and then the tailbone tucked under. That's what I meant. Whew. Okay. So you can do that again 2 times. Maybe do the first time without the stick, second time with the stick. And just check my notes here. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring the right leg forward again. And this, I call this like a low lunge. We're gonna do a chest stretch here. So we were here, open up our hip flexor, and then we rotated, right? So now I'm gonna have you bring your arms up into a T and come into that slight back bend. Breathe, lift up. Good. Now, we're gonna do a few things, and it's gonna get deeper into the lower back, the glute, and the inside of the groin. So we did the twist, but instead of doing the twist here, I'm gonna have you bring your left hand on the outside of your right knee, lift up, and then twist. So now instead of just using your core, we're gonna kind of use the torque of your left arm and your right knee to rotate. Cool, okay. So from here, we're gonna bring both hands to the inside. Now remember, flexibility and strength. So if you cannot reach both hands to the inside, so my back knee is down. Let's go on the side view. My back knee is down, my hips come down, and my hands are on the inside. Now, I believe I have yoga blocks in here. I don't know where they are. But if you have yoga blocks, you can place them underneath you, or maybe a book, so you can make yourself a little bit taller. And what I want you to pay attention to is the opening up of the right inner thigh. If you look at your knee is right over your ankle or the middle of your foot. And just, if this feels really good, I really recommend that you just kind of hang out here and breathe through it. This also kind of reminds me of that core pose that we were working on, where you had to bring your knee towards your forehead, your knee towards your forearm. You're very much in that position. So even think about using your core, bringing your knee toward this right knee towards your chest. Like obviously you're already here, but using the core muscles, that kind of can help as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch to the other side. And there's a lot here, right? So you can even break, I'll put it on the piece of paper. You can break this up into actually a couple of different segments: the standing, the kneeling, the twisting. So bend in your left knee. All right, goalpost. And you can make this into a stretch. You can use the pole. Like I feel there's a lot more on this side, this right hip flexor, than the other side for sure. All right, so the other one, we add the twist. This time we're gonna put the right hand on the outside of the left knee. Use the torque of your arm, but you still use your core, so still rotate and look over your left shoulder. And if you feel good here, you can still keep dropping your hips if that feels good for the front of the hip flexor. All right, so now we're gonna bring both hands to the inside. So for me, this one's a little bit tighter, so my hips don't come down as much. So I'm gonna start working on just dropping my hips slowly. So again, mobility, moving with strength, see how it feels, go through a range of motion that feels comfortable for you. I've been explaining the breathing part, but make sure you're breathing through this whole process. This is very much like that knee to elbow, so noticing your core. So getting that inner growing. Whew. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back one more time to the right leg. Now this one, we're going to get a little bit more of your leg. So your right leg is forward, and I want you to bring your toe up. So my hips are right over my back knee. I'm just kickstanding my right leg in front. Toe up and just hang out here for a second. If you're feeling this way I am, it's going right down towards the back of my knee and getting it pretty tight on the outside of my calf. Okay, soften your knee just a little bit, and and then start to hinge forward. You may feel something at the back of the hamstring, and you can kind of play around with keeping the knee straight or bending it softly. If you're losing your balance, you can have a chair next to you if you'd like to. Maybe that stick might come in handy keeping you balanced as well, so just kind of keeping you a little bit more upright. The last thing here with the legs straight is imagine the left shoulder rotating towards the right knee and just almost like a baby twist. So I'm just rotating and leaning forward. Ooh, baby, that is, so this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this one for you. I wanted you to explore the outside of your right hip that goes to the knee. It's either going to be some of that could be overworked or just really tight, or it could be the inside of the groin. So I'm trying to, through this mobility work, trying to open up the hips a little bit and see if it gives your knee a little bit of relief. Okay, cool. Let's do the other side. Whew, that was pretty good stuff here. All right, left leg forward. We're just going to spend a little time here, and your toe is up. I would bend forward a little bit more to get my calf, but this is honestly plenty of stretch for me. Okay, soften your knee, lean forward, get the hammy, feels lovely. You can point your toe or flex your foot, depends on how it feels for your calf. Just want to get that length in the hammy. Okay, last one. You're just gonna rotate. Like look over your left shoulder, right shoulder comes towards your left knee. You can even slide this hand down if you like to. We're just getting that IT band a little bit longer here. If you notice that a lot of weight shifts onto your right or collapses, continue to lift up out of your tailbone as you're rotating. You want your hips to stay level. All right, so that's your mobility work. A lot going on. I'll share the whole video one slot, and then I'll also create the video in like little chunks and write it out. So have fun side, take your time on this one. Should feel really nice and really open you up and make you feel like level and strong. So kick some butt.